Barak, welcome to our channel.
Barak.
Welcome to our channel. Our audience is happy to see you here. I was telling them that you are an activist. In fact, you were at the UN, I think, last week, and
That is important.
it's a complicated place for Israel. It's in a city where one of the worst terrorist attacks happened decades ago. Do you know any connection between them? Do you see any connection? Do you know between 9/11 and what happened in Israel on October 7th?
The first thing I want to say is thank you for inviting me.
He spoke Spanish.
I wish I spoke Spanish. Honestly, I'm really envious. I hope one day I can come back and speak Spanish because I see that your community is amazing, so I don't speak Spanish, just a little bit. I was at the United Nations several times last month, and I want to share two important anecdotes with you.
By the way, if you need it,
If you need to translate something, let me know and I'll stop. 4 weeks ago, I went with three other activists and we had a private tour of the United Nations. The person from the UN who guided us is in a delegation here.
she's living abroad.
She lives abroad, it's Israel, and she took us to three different floors. The first floor is like an entrance lobby. There are some photos and writings on the wall. The second floor is public and the third is private. The only way to go up to the third floor is with someone from the UN accompanying you. When I got off the elevator on the second floor, I saw four other groups taking tours.
Other groups that were having tours. And when you get off of the elevator,
When you arrive on the floor, you'll see exhibits with flags from different countries. But I noticed that the world wall in front of me said Palestine was green.
and I realized it had writing.
I got closer and saw information about Palestine, its history and struggles since 1948.
I believe the wall starts in 1948. I don't remember if they referenced.
I don't remember if they called it Nakba, but they talked about the oppression and suffering of the Palestinians for living next to the state of Israel.
And
I looked around and thought, where is the wall about Israel?
if
And if you look to your left and go down the hallway, you'll see in the corner where the guard is next to the bathroom, there's a sign that says Israel.
all this info about the Holocaust,
At the end of the hallway, it says Israel, and there's information about the Holocaust, the experience of Israelis and Jews, their oppression, what happened in the 30s and 40s, and so on. The four groups of tourists were from Australia, South America, Europe, and Canada. No guide took them to the corner where I was. And it's important to understand why, when people visit the UN and ask for a tour, it's organized so that they only see one narrative. Unless you're curious, think critically and ask if there's another wall we can see.
think critically, and you choose to actually say, hey, is there another wall here that we can see? And I didn't see anyone in the group.
And I didn't see anyone in the groups do that. Some were kids, others were parents who just wanted to take cool pictures. Is it fair to assume that most people don't ask if there's another wall? Which implies that most people who visit the United Nations leave with a specific agenda, which is on the second floor where they talk about the Middle East. It seems like the Palestinians are the ones who suffer the most. In general,
They didn't have the chance to see the wall that talks about Israel.
that's point number one. First, for a long time, we have seen systems and processes systematically implemented in places like the UN. And this wall has been here since September 11th, even before September 11th.
Because the Holocaust happened before this in 1948.
It happened before this, so that wall, that example of a specific agenda, has been present at the United Nations for a very long time, a very long time. The second story was last week, and then I'll answer your question.
The second,
I'm sorry, I just wanted to give a little context. The second experience was last week. I went to visit the Consul General of Israel. His name is Ofer Hakunis. He works at the UN in New York.
And as I was leaving,
I met him, and as I was leaving his office, I saw a flag that looked burned.
and so I said to him, it was an.
I told him, idiot, it was an Israeli flag with burn marks on the side. Maybe I can show a picture while I talk so you can see it. And I asked him, what exactly is this flag you have here? And he said that this flag survived. Let's see if I can show it to everyone. Is that okay? I'm sorry, let me remove the virtual background. Okay, here we go. You should see it now. Let me know if you do.
Yes.
All right.
So I asked him, what is this flag?
What exactly is this flag?
Flag.
He said that this flag survived the September 11th attack.
This flag was half burned. They found it when putting out the fires and recovered it. And that flag is in the office. It survived the September 11th attack.
I decided to make a video about this because I was struck to see that here in New York we have a half-burned Israeli flag, still half alive, and it's still there on display.
And we see people all over the world.
We see them in South America, we see them in Canada, in Europe, North America, burning Israeli and American flags.
In 2024.
So about you in 2024.
So to get to your question.
About your question, what similarities are there between 9/11 and October 7th?
And October 7th? On October 7th, we saw students and left-wing radicals burning flags and shouting against the US and begin to burn American flags, screaming death to America, going against politicians. Yes, they're screaming.
Yes, they're shouting death to Israel, but the Iranian regime talks about Israel and the US like that, calling one the little Satan and the other the great
Satan, no difference.
The jihadist ideology behind 9/11 is the same as that of October 7th in Israel.
If you think that what happened on October 7th only affects the Jews in Israel,
you're very mistaken.
Jewish people in Israel, I think that they're very confused.
Mistaken? It's another attempt to dominate not only Israel, but also the West.
And the whole world, just to take over this sliver of land the size of New Jersey. They want to take over the West. They want to take over the world. They want to have supreme control over the earth. That is their idea.
That's their idea.
That's why Islam.
That's why they try to spread Islam all over the world.
And they see Israel.
And they see Israel as an obstacle to their goal.
That's why they try to destroy Israel. US?
Israel and the US have been allies for years
with interests.
No matter the politics, whether the president is Republican or Democrat, Israel continues to exist and maintains its alliance. So it's fair to say that politics won't be an obstacle. What is an obstacle, though, is this democratic state in the Middle East, Israel, which stands in the way of their goal of death to America. This is the reason for domestic terrorism in the US.
Into America, affecting Jewish communities and Europe, Jewish homes, Jewish entities, whether it's what's happening across Europe now. You don't have to be
Jewish. Just appearing as Eskenazi or Blanco is enough to be attacked in the street or at home.
The world.
And this is happening all over the world. What I conclude is that if in 2001 we saw a jihadist attack against the US, in 2024, we see an attack against Israel,
which has extended far beyond its borders, but it has escalated way beyond Israel's borders.
On Israel's borders, this shows us that what we are facing isn't only about Jews.
Jewish, it has nothing to do with John.
It's not just about Jews, that Muslims wouldn't kill other Muslims, that Muslims wouldn't kill anyone who crosses into their home.
Because we know that when it comes to race,
ethnicity, or religion, if you don't believe in their ideology and you set foot in Gaza or the West Bank as a homosexual, you will get. Being homosexual, they will lynch you, decapitate you, and torture you. It's not about Jews. I think it's about deep religious ideologies. And this religious ideology is the real leader behind the supreme control.
What's supreme?
That's what we're seeing.
We're seeing
It's not just about the state of Israel, because I'll tell you, if Iran were to launch a nuclear bomb on Israel right now and it disappeared,
does everyone
I wonder, do you think everything would just stop and end?
region
Do you think the Muslims in that region would stop fighting among themselves? Do you think the Middle East wouldn't cross the Atlantic to America? It doesn't stop just because Israel disappears. That's just their first objective, to reach their broader goal. So the context is different.
October 17th.
October 7th and 9/11 are very different. The context is very different. I'm not saying it's not, but the motive for the attacks and the incentive for the Islamic regime is the same.
The same regime across the ocean. It's the same. This is
ISIS and Hamas are the same. ISIS and Hezbollah are the same. ISIS and the Houthi rebels are the same. Terrorists with Hamas flags looking for Jews, it's all the same.
and doing anything they can to find Jewish people or anything in their way. It is all the same.
It's only contextually different from the event. So my experience at the UN showed me that it's unfortunate that between the 1930s and 1940s, the Holocaust, 9/11, and 2024. It's hard to say, Yakov, but I don't know how much progress we've made, right? Which makes our work much better.
That's my position now, and I think we're facing something that sometimes I wonder if it can be fought.
If it's even fightable.
But if Iran could launch a nuclear bomb on the US, right now, Israel, it's not that they would feel better with Israel, but they would be just as happy doing it to them. And this shows that there are constant attempts to eliminate everything that doesn't fit with their worldview.
To wipe out anything in the way that's what doesn't fit with their worldview.
Nothing to do with the world as it is.
That's how things are. That's how it's always been. The Israeli flag in Ophir's office at the UN shows that they can burn flags, but never our identity.
Flags, but they will never be able to burn our identity.
What you say is shocking, especially because you mentioned something I've never said, that I never have, and others only.
They want to destroy Israel, and all these people make it their goal that they...
Some really believe that there will be peace and everyone will be like that.
But that's exactly what you say. By the way,
a curious fact, did you know that the first victim of September 11th seems to have been an Israeli Special Forces member who tried to confront the terrorists on his plane?
Anyway, I see it the same way you do.
How is it possible that Muslims are killing other Muslims?
In fact,
Israel is getting closer to countries like Saudi Arabia thanks to Iran.
Is this part of it?
Like the people who come to the UN and tell us how they are so blinded, they don't see the whole system, how it works.
And well, that's why there were voices like yours and mine on social media.
Now, for my audience, if you want to keep watching this interview, we're going to head over. See you in the next video. Bye to Barak's channel. Bye. In the video description, there are 2 links. The second one is the live stream that will start in about 3 or 4 minutes.
So get
ready, guys, and I'll see you there.
Cannot